The story, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, is narrated by a 9-year-old boy. The author described a childhood incident in the story. He got very nostalgic while narrating the story. The story begins by the introduction of the two main characters, a 9-year-old boy named Aaron Garoglanian and his 13-year-old cousin Murad, who belonged to an Armenian family and lived in the San Joaquin Valley in California. All the Armenian families lived in Armenia, a nation in between 500 to 800 BC and former Soviet Republic located in the mountainous region between Asia and Europe. The story basically revolves around these two Armenian boys. The boy belonged to the Garoglanian tribe. This tribe was known for its honesty, pride, hospitality, and integrity for 11 centuries. They were popular all over the world for never stealing and taking any kind of advantage from anybody for making money. Once upon a time they were very rich, but unfortunately, with time they became poor due to war. Now they were so poor that they became wanderers. They were with no work, and it was difficult for them to feed their families. Although they were poor, they never sacrificed their honesty. In fact, even in the worst situation, they were always honest. In other words, even in times of extreme poverty, nothing could match the importance of honesty. They never lied or did anything wrong. One fine summer morning at around 4 a.m., Murad brought a white horse for riding. He woke the author, who was at that time asleep and was in a world of beautiful dreams, by tapping on the window of his room. Aaron stuck his head out of the window and rubbed his eyes to see something outside the window. He couldn't believe his eyes. It was a beautiful white horse. He was surprised at the first glance of it, but Murad assured him that it was indeed a horse and he was not dreaming. Murad asked him if he wanted a ride. Aaron was fascinated by the world, as everything was easy in childhood. His earliest memory was of horses and he always wanted to ride one. So he agreed to Murad's offer. Murad was considered crazy by everybody who knew him except the author. He was very active and lively at the same time. He wanted to live his life to the fullest, though he was born in a poor family and had a miserable life. He had a very eccentric demeanor. He told Aaron about his nature and how everyone loved him. He was proud that he had a special talent in him to remain calm even in the most stressful situation. Aaron was still confused. He could not believe the horse to be real because he knew that they were poor and Murad wouldn't be able to afford a horse. Aram was at the same time excited. When he observed the horse closely, he could smell the horse and hear it breathe. He wondered if Murad had stolen the horse. On the other hand, he thought that this could not be true because no one in the family could be a thief. For some moment, both were quiet. They looked at each other. The horse delighted the author on one hand and scared him on the other hand. Aram couldn't stop himself from asking Murad if he had stolen the horse. There was no reply from his end. His silence convinced Aram that the horse was stolen. The conflict that was going on in Aram's mind stopped him for some time. He tried to resolve the situation going on in his mind. He thought that it was not the same as stealing money, as they both were crazy about riding a horse. Then he came to the conclusion that it could not be called stealing until they decide to sell it. And he was sure that Murad would never do it. Finally, he made up his mind to accompany Murad. He changed his dress, jumped to the yard from the window, and sat on the horse behind his cousin.